Hello, how's it going? I got something extremely handsome for you to look at today. It ain't me, that's for sure. Yes, I'm a bit run down at the moment. I look like crap and I've got a cold sore. Never mind, let's look at this instead. Look at that. What do you think of that? Well now, it's already dusty somehow. It's got hair on the inside. But anyway, there you are. This is a Bittydesign Agata. That is a Bittydesign Agata and I don't use it. Anyway, let's start from the top. This is a very fast video, very quick video. What? Not going into much detail. I just wanted to show off Sharkfat Custom RC's latest body shell that he's painted for me. I simply said to him, I want white and gunmetal grey, that's not black, gunmetal grey as the main colours, and orange and yellow as the highlighting colours. See what you can come up with. And I also said, by the way, I don't mind a well done asymmetrical body shell because I really like asymmetry in racing cars when it's done right. So you've got the stripes slightly to one side. So I put the Trinity sticker like that, and the Hobbywing sticker along the roof there. It's not on the other side. I just like it. I think it looks really quite smart. I really like it. Well done, Sharkfat. Sharkfat was the guy who painted my first GT12 shell, this Castrol liveried Porsche 911. Same guy. You see that there? Sharkfat. Now, just one thing to note, Sharkfat. You sent me white. See this Sharkfat logo on the bonnet of this Porsche here. It's black. You sent me two white ones. It's fine, except I didn't have any real estate left that wasn't white. I would have put it along there where the Hobbywing was if I had the black one. But obviously the white one wouldn't have stood out against it. So that was a bit silly. It's all good. Why have I got this shell? Right, okay, so I've been running a Fat Bodies McLaren. It's perfectly fine, but it's looking a bit scabby now. I painted this months ago to replace this. I went from this shell, which doesn't give much downforce or performance, to a shell that actually does, whether it's one of these or something different. This is what I went for. Went for a Lamborghini. It's clearly based on a Lamborghini Huracan, although it's not called that. It's called an Agata. It's not licensed. The reason being, I like Lamborghinis. Always liked Lamborghinis ever since I was a little boy. My favourite car in the entire world when I was a wee boy was the Lamborghini Diablo. That's the original Diablo with the pop-up headlamps, not the later one. And even today, if you said to me, you can pick any one exotic supercar from Ferrari, from McLaren, from Pagani, all the rest of it, I would still pick a Lamborghini over all of them. Not least because Lamborghini still do normally aspirated V12s, none of this hybrid nonsense. Anyway, so Lamborghini it is. And I contacted Sharkfat because he makes such a good job of it. So why don't I use this one? Well, I went from this to this, and at the same time I changed. Now I'm not going to go into full detail because I've done a video on this already. You can look it up if you like. I changed my tyre strategy from one set of tyres all night to two sets of tyres all night, and I didn't, at the time, change my soak time to compensate for that because I didn't know anything about tyre additive and stuff. It was all new to me. As a result, this was all over the place. I couldn't drive it right, and it doesn't look too bad, but it was pretty shunted up for within the first couple of weeks, and I just sort of moved on from it. It looks fine. I could use it. Also, it's dark. It's too dark. The floor we race on is quite dark, and although I can keep tabs on my car fine, it doesn't stand out. So when you were lapping someone or being lapped or coming up to someone, they often didn't see you coming, and then you always had a shunt or whatever. So it was a bad choice. It's a beautiful colour, but it was a bad choice of colour on that carpet. So I wanted to go for another Lamborghini. Again, Lamborghini. This time brighter colours. Now this will certainly stand out. I really like this is going to be my thing. These colours, gunmetal grey, white, orange and yellow. But I also really like the up and over the arches and stuff. That's what I've been running. And my Fat Bodies Bodyshell and the McLaren, again McLaren look-alike. I had the yellow paint up and over the front arches and towards the back. I like it. It looks really nice. So yes, just wanted to show off his work. Got to have the relevant stickers on there, of course. Trinity RevTech. I am using a Trinity RevTech motor. hobby wing speed controller. This is a Schumacher Atom 2. Nothing that is not relevant on there. Bittydesign, obviously, Agata. The MS UK forum is where I post, where I discuss. I love the forum, I've been on it for years. So shout out to MS UK forum. That's where I go to discuss all things RC. And there we are. Oh, and contact are the tyres, contact tyres. Tonight, it's Friday as I'm recording this. Tonight is the final night, the final round of the Winter Championship, which is the first full championship I've taken part in since returning to RC racing after a 17-year hiatus. Now, on my last update, I did point out that I was winning the championship, but that was only because all the top guys hadn't done enough rounds yet, because it's a drop score system. Only the top 7 point scores count, the rest of them are dropped off. Now, I said at the time that the cream will rise to the top, and it has. The guy who's taken the lead in the championship now is an ex-HPI team driver. Yes, which means, in case you don't know, he used to professionally race RC cars. He got paid money to race RC cars. So he's good. You know, I can't catch him now. He's first. I'm now second in the championship. But that's fine. I never expected to win it in a million years because I'm not one of those top guys. I'm not too far off. I'm closer than I was at the start, certainly. But yeah, they're still, you know, the fastest guys are still 2, maybe 3 laps faster over a 5-minute period. So I'm not there yet. Yes, the important thing tonight is I mentioned Steve on my last video. My rival, who's him and I were fighting for the lead in the championship now. Now we're fighting for second. 1 night to go. This is the last night. We are separated by 1 point. So wish me luck. Steve is faster than me. So, well, generally speaking, he is. Last week, we both had a bad round last week. Last week was disastrous. Last week was awful. You want to know what happened last week? I'll tell you what happened last week. They changed the track layout. So the track needs to rubber in again. I know it's not, I say rubber in, it's a foam tyres, but it's just the phrase. It needed to bed in again. So the track layout had very little grip. Sorry, I'm just trying to squash this sticker down. I didn't adjust my soak time accordingly for that because I'd already just put my tyres on ready to go. Then the club secretary was like, okay, we're going in 10 minutes. I was like, well, hold on, that's not enough time. Anyway, so the car was all over the place in the first round, absolutely all over the place. Not that that mattered because my rear axle snapped and both my back wheels fell off. So that wasn't a great round. Incidentally, the rear, I'm using a gear diff on my Atom 2. The rear axle that's carbon fibre for the gear diff on the Schumacher Atom 2 is garbage. It's just garbage. That's the second one I've gone through. It wasn't even as a result of a crash. It just let go. The first one also wasn't a result of a crash. It had a hairline crack through it. It just let go. There's not enough material around the drive pin. It's crap. Stick to the metal one. Anyway, so that happened. For the second round, I was so frantically trying to get my rear axle replaced that I hurriedly put the additive on the front tyres. You're supposed to put additive around the inside of the front tyres. The further you spread it across the surface of the tyre, the more front end bite you have. I was so flummoxed, they weren't on the car at the time, I actually put it around the outside of the tyres, not the inside of the tyres, so that one was a write-off as well. The car was all over the place again. So race 2 was nowhere. Race 3, yeah, I forgot to put my battery O-ring in so to hold the battery down, so the battery was probably bouncing everywhere. And of course, race 3 is the qualifying round. So that was my last round to try and get a reasonably clean race in. And it was reasonably clean, but it wasn't very good. So I started, I think, 5th in the B, which is pretty poor for the standard. I'd been A final every single week for months. But there was a lot more people there as well. But anyway, Steve hadn't even watched that. He was in the C final. So, yeah. Oh, and incidentally, in the final, the B final, taken out the first corner, was last, overtook a guy, but accidentally put him into the wall when I was overtaking him, so I waited for him. And as he went back, past me again, smacked me into the wall and kept going. Anyway, I caught him again, passed him, and then I was running, 5th, chasing the guy there was the 2 guys in 3rd and 4th chasing each other. Caught them lap by lap by lap by lap by lap. With about 20 seconds to go, I overtook both of them into 3rd place, came around the corner, And a marshal was on the track, saving someone else, didn't get off the track fast enough. I clipped his ankle, dropped off again, back to 5th, and that's where I finished. So it was a night to write off anyway, that's for sure. Hopefully tonight goes a bit better. I only need to beat Steve. That's the only goal. I'm 1 point ahead of him. If I beat him, it's fine. So that's the goal. Anyway, what do you think? It's nice, isn't it? Just back on topic. It's a nice body shell. It is a nice body shell. Looking forward to driving it. This should be quite a even downforce body shell. Shouldn't shift the bias too far forward or too far back, although it is quite an angular front end, so I think it will probably increase steering slightly over the shark. This is Sharkfat again. Fat Bodies McLaren GTM. This sticker's annoying me because it's going to catch rubbish under it. Anyway, all we're here to look at is the body shell. Look at it. Just look at it. Take it in. And if you want some really nice body shells done for your race car or your basher, contact Sharkfat, because he's good. He's that good, and he's this good, and he's other good, because he's just check him out. All right, I'll put the link and stuff, or the address, whatever. Good. Thanks for watching. This was a very basic video with no real information, apart from Sharkfat's good at painting, so take that away with you. Thanks for watching. This is a Weetabix cup. I like this cup because I had a Weetabix wagon on my 00 gauge railway set when I was growing up. I had a Weetabix wagon. So anyway, yes, topics are overrated. Take care. See you later. Bye-bye. Hello, it's later on now. I just got back. Look, it's not too bad. Not too bad at all, really. A few scuffs there on each side. A little bit of paint popped off the back of it underneath. I can just touch that up with some brushes. Not bad. Overall, it still looks really good. A few scuffs on the roof. I did stick it under the barrier at one point. But anyway, no, it looks absolutely fine. Car was probably the best it's ever been. Really, really good. Really happy with it. Really happy with the way it handles. But what about Steve and I? Well, he narrowly beat me in the first race. I actually overtook him and then I put it under the barrier. And he beat me by, there was a 6-minute race and he beat me by a second. Beat him in the second race. Beat him in the third race. So we lined up in the A final, second and third, with me just ahead of him. In the final, he scored a fastest lap than me. In fact, a few people did. He also scored a faster top 10 average than I did. However, he crashed and I didn't. So I'm very happy to announce I won my first ever A final. That includes back in the touring car days. Never done that before. So pleased. That also means that I successfully beat Steve in the championship. Came second overall behind an ex-HPI team driver. So not too bad at all. Even though I was 1 point ahead already and then I beat him again, because of the drop score systems, he actually dropped more points off, a higher score off than I did, so it could have went either way. Thankfully, I just got it. So very, very pleased. Now Steve, ever the gentleman, shook my hand and just said, well done. There's no animosity, no bitterness. He was a little bit annoyed that he's working tomorrow and therefore can't have a drink. Well, I'm not, so I can. Talisker Sky. Love the whiskey. Love the place. Look. Better luck next time, Steve. Cheers. Enjoy work, Steve.